Hey, it's your girl, Cece. Okay, so we are here with a good friend of mine. I'm so excited about this interview because we've been friends for a while and I have watched her journey, like literally from the MySpace days. Yes, we were talking about Somaya Reece is here in the building.
Yes.
Now, I want to share some of your background because a lot of people were like, oh, Somaya. Some people remember you from MySpace, from Love and Hip Hop, but Somaya is Salvadorian. You were born and raised, South Central LA. Your childhood, let's talk about it, South Central, poverty, gang, abuse.
Yeah.
You talk about the abuse that you went through. You talk about the hardship. Can you share with some of the listeners how you decided not to become a statistic? I think that's so important, Somaya.
That's a very powerful way to start this interview.
Yes. I wanted to come out with a bunch because I want them to know, who is Somaya?
Right. I think, I knew at a very early age that I did not belong in the mess, but being a kid and being around the influence and not, I was also surviving my own home because my own home was very turbulent.
Right.
So the streets is somewhere I did turn to, and I almost lost my life there. But I personally there was something inside of me as a child that I think my spirit just didn't want me to live there. And I always strived for more. I always wanted something else. Right. In school, I was always the why girl, always the but wait, I got a question. I've always seeked knowledge. And I think that is exactly why I just changed the whole vibe for myself, and I chose not to be a statistic. But at the same time, I still have respect for other people that are in the hood. It's just what you're born into, and it's what you make out of it. But I tell some of my friends that are still in the hood, if you could hustle in the hood, you could hustle in corporate America.
That part right there, Somaya.
Period.
Drop those gems. Because people don't realize you really almost lost your life.
Right.
And you talk about it. You know what I mean? You almost lost your life. You talk about a child you lost.
I did.
So going through all this hardship, and now, you're back. You got this single, but Somaya went through so much. How did you just not lose yourself? And I think that's a good question because there's people out there that are going through so much right now, and they're hanging on to your word because they're like, how do we not lose ourselves?
Right. So it's an ongoing thing. I have to say that it's part of a healing process, and it's a journey that you have to stay on top of. I always tell people, if you had a bad day yesterday, sleep it off. You have tomorrow. Start over as many times as you have to. There's no one way. But what you have to know is that there is something better for you. Mm-hmm. No is my favorite word.
Yes. That's
Are you
so
all
powerful.
putting me in some mess? No.
That's so powerful because people don't understand in this industry.
No, ma'am.
No is very powerful to say.
It is very powerful. And I believe that the best advice that I was given by some of my OGs, I've always been a student. I'm always willing to learn. I learned a lot of things from my grandmother and my father and my brother. They always taught me to stand firm on what I believe in and to pursue anything I want to. My dad is my biggest supporter. If I tell my daddy, I want to do a DJ truck and margaritas and tacos de pescado.
He's gonna
Let's go. But he always has told me, don't follow the crowd because following the crowd will lead you to your demise.
Right.
Following the crowd will lead you to your demise. Pigeons flock together, eagles fly alone. I'm an eagle. And that is very important.
I love it. Taking a 5-year hiatus is huge for somebody like you that moves in the industry so much. Tell me about what made you want to take that hiatus. 5 years? You had to take it, decompress, but you came back with so much. We're going to talk about all the gardening,
I came back
everything.
heavy.
Yes. You came back heavy, girl.
Yeah. Well, as we were talking, I took I call it I took a little nap. Mm-hmm. I needed a pullback moment. A lot of things were happening at the time, and I felt that in order for me to refresh my mind, I needed to take that step back, and I started gardening. I bought a house with land. I started spending a lot of time in nature, started to reorganize my spirit.
Wow.
What do I want? How do I want to present myself to the world? And as you mentioned, I was moving a lot. I mean, I move a lot. I'm not the kind of person that I'm not just going to stay still. I go hard for my dreams, and as I wish everybody would.
No, you're a true jet setter.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
like, I don't know if you're
we're
in
not
Miami
paying.
one day or New York the other day. Exactly.
Right. And what's very important for me is that I did take that time off. And I took that time off to truly dig within myself.
Right.
I was also going through a lot of personal, I would say almost like a mourning period of I don't want these people in my life anymore. I don't want to move. I need to move with intention.
I feel like your 5-year hiatus was like a rebirth to self. Almost.
It was a rebirth to self.
Yes.
100%. It is everything that I could sum up for you in what you just said. Because I came back, and it's not so much I came back because truly I would have to say that there were a lot of things that happened in that hiatus. The best thing that happened, however, and the end result was that I truly know who I am, both as a person, as an artist, as a human.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so much more important to me. And it's really hard in this industry to be human because, I'm known for transparency because I'm not afraid. Like, I grew up in a real traditional Latino house where my mom's like, no le digas a nadie eso. Like, don't tell anybody about that. Like, oh my gosh, don't share and I think that that's a cultural thing too because it's very much, I've heard this through a lot of my fans when I talk about it, like on my lives on TikTok.
Right.
And
we're not supposed to air out our dirty laundry.
No,
you know what I mean?
we're
Exactly.
not. But it is the best gift that I ever gave myself and other people because it helped heal me. And that was a big part of that hiatus. And I would have to say that the hiatus, I was still working on music in the background, but I was really just in a space where I needed that time. I needed that time because this time around, it's so different. It is so different.
I just feel like there's this, I've always felt like, your aura of going out there and La Jefa, the boss lady, but I see peace on you right now.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing to see on people is peace.
I am in such a great space. And I feel that, with that, I used to think that losing people or losing friends was like you're losing people. But what I understood is that during this whole healing process, people have been dropping like flies out of my life. And I know that that's for my highest good.
Right.
And that is what's helping with the peace. And I have to say that all the time to people. If you want to propel in life and get to the next level, everybody can't come.
I think that's an important lesson because sometimes when you feel like everybody can't come, you start feeling guilty. You start feeling...
It's a cultural thing.
Yes,
it's a cultural thing.
You want to carry their weight for them. And you can't.
No, you can't. And sometimes you think everybody's rowing the boat, but they're poking holes in the boat.
Damn.
And that's not...
And now you're back and you've got Witness Glory. La Jefa is back in full effect. I love this.
Yes,
you
thank
bitches is mad.
Okay, period. Okay.
So coming back with that, what's so special about this song that you're like, this is going to be my comeback song?
So I would say the number one thing is I wanted people to know my story further than what I've talked about, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, I didn't know that about you.
Right.
I feel that as a artist, you have the power to send a message and you have the power to make fun music and you have a power to do whatever you want. For me, it was really important that the song was constructed in a way as a conceptual song. Mm-hmm. The beginning of the song, I talk about my trauma, my pain, and how I navigate the entertainment industry. And then we switch off to the second part of the song, which is me celebrating where I am today. And being that in our culture, people tell you, don't talk about your wins, don't talk about anything, like don't celebrate. Why not?
Right.
That's why I added the line, F being humble, I earn my right
to brag. Yes.
Everybody that's watching this, talk about your accomplishments. Celebrate them. Give yourself the manicure and pedicure, okay?
Right.
Do that because it's a celebration. I've gone through so much and now I'm celebrating myself. And overall, the concept was truly the soundtrack to my life. I'm standing on business, but I'm also telling you my story in transparency. My music that follows after this song is, a different style of music, but it is still within the same women empowerment, people empowerment. Tell your story. Be proud of your wins. And for anybody that didn't see the vision, they will.
Right.
They always will. You already know. We've talked about this before.
Right.
When you're on, now everybody saw the vision?
Yeah.
What happened before?
Yeah.
You know, what
exactly.
happened before?
Sometimes you got to
But-
show them the vision. They don't get it right away. But I love the
But it's
fact that you're like,
okay.
earn the right to brag in a humble sense. Let's talk
Correct.
about that because,
Yeah.
like you said, it is a cultural thing. People of color, we're very humble. We don't want to brag, but I always say, no, tell them what you
Yes.
do. You know what I
Right.
mean? Express it because you just might change the way they
Yeah.
think of Latinos, black and brown.
Right.
You know, let them know that we're more than just the stereotypes that they
Of
always pin us to
course.
be.
And I believe strongly that it only sounds like bragging to people that want to see you diminish your accomplishments. Bragging only sounds like bragging to people that are really hating.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Or they don't even understand.
They don't
it, yes.
understand. They don't have the emotional capacity to understand that you should celebrate your wins. Celebrate everything because waking up is a win.
Right.
Well, we're waking up, someone's mother isn't. It's a very sad truth.
It is.
You know, while we're waking up today, yesterday might have been bad for us, but today we have the power to push forward. And that's my biggest message in life. And that's why I constructed this song the way we did, because it's a message, aside from, of course, me speaking about personal things.
Right.
Guys, keep going, and for anybody that's mad, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Exactly.
Like, step up your game.
I gotta keep it pushing.
Okay, yeah,
Were
step
you,
it up.
Were you nervous? Because I was, it's so funny. Shout out to my girls. I got some young, amazing girls that work with me. But I'm
Yes.
like, Somaya was like the first person on MySpace to have 1 million followers, right?
Yeah.
They're like, what? I'm like, I think she was like our first influencer type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
Before they started calling it influencer.
Yeah, I remember that it made big news because it was like,
Yeah.
this girl has 1 million followers. It's never been done before.
No.
It was on MySpace. But you do have hardcore fans that have followed you throughout your journey. And
Right.
I see it. It's evident on your page. Were you a little nervous about coming back with this, about what your fans would think?
No, you know what I was? So I was talking about, shout out to the producer who helped me put this together, KT Kaboom. KT and I sat and talked about who am I as an artist? Does that reflect the person? And how would we convey that into a record? So there were actually other records on the table that were very commercial, it's hook, verse, hook, like very commercial. But I was like, no, it's time for me to truly show people and tell people and allow them to feel, because this record is about feeling.
Right.
This record is 100% about feeling. If you haven't heard it, not you, but like to anybody
Yeah.
that's watching, listen to it and replay it a few times because you'll get the message. My story is their story. My story is your story. We all had to kind of, push through. So when we constructed this record, I was like, you know what? I feel like I want to do a concept and not a traditional record, because a traditional record has different elements and you can't really convey and tell a story
Right.
in a traditional record. So the beginning part, I really wanted actually to be silent and just an a cappella originally. I didn't even want anything on it. And my producer was like, because my producer does sound design and does
Right.
sound design for like films and those, anything dark and moody,
Right.
So she was like, and shout out because she's a female too, because
That's
we're all
right.
about girl
Let's go.
power.
Yes.
So KT Kaboom was like, what do you think about if we give it elements of power behind it? So we sat there and we created design, and that's how it was birthed. Because originally I wasn't actually going to do what happened after the first half.
Right.
It was just going to be a full a cappella record. And we constructed it the way it is. And then we added un poquito de español,
Yes.
English, a little spoken word, a little bit of just everything, because I want people to understand, like, it's okay to be different too, because we do live in a copy and paste world. I dare to be different.
No, you've always been different. And I
Always.
feel like, I think that's why your fans, even Latinas in general, we gravitate towards you, because even watching you on Love and Hip Hop, when it was their first season, you were always a badass. You never apologized or backed down. You weren't
Absolutely
afraid
not.
of anything, girl.
No,
like
absolutely
fearless.
not.
And it just felt good because it was like, yes, we have a Latina up there and she's
Yes.
holding her own.
Yes.
And you did it. And in one of your
Yes.
songs too, it's like you said a song that was like, or a line that was like, even in the attic, I was above you.
Yes.
Or something. And I remember
Yes.
that line. I now correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. That line comes from Love and Hip Hop, right?
Yes, yes.
I knew it. I
Yeah.
knew it when I heard the song.
Yeah,
I
yes,
knew it.
yes. And
Because and sorry to interrupt you, but
No.
because you were in the attic, there was
And I
some
wasn't
jokes made about
afraid.
it. But you know what's so crazy is that a lot of these people on television be like, "Oh, I come from the struggle. I know what it's like." You know what I mean?
But do
you
you?
showed it?
Yeah, but it's do you?
Do you really? Because
Do
it's
you
like
really?
no, Somaya really showed you how the fucking struggle really
Yeah.
was. Like you
and
showed
that's it.
them.
That is the struggle because when I was we can take it back to MySpace. When I was on MySpace, I had millions of followers, and when Tom invited me on there, I was riding the bus to auditions. I didn't have a laptop. I was in the library using the free internet because you best believe, by all means necessary, I'm gonna make it.
Wait a minute, you had 1 million
Yes.
followers on MySpace.
Yes,
Took
because it
the bus to
happened
go
like
meet Tom?
this.
Was Tom cool?
Super cool.
Okay,
He's still
yeah.
cool. Tom is a real person, everyone. I promise. I got pictures. But yeah, I talked about it because I would talk about it. I would say like, hey guys, so I'm looking for a producer, but I ain't got a car. But through all of the blessings that happened from being on MySpace and from finding an agent, well, an agent actually discovered me. I was able to, get some money to buy a car. But when I tell you when there is a will, there is a way. And if you
Right.
really want it, that's why you bring me excuses, automatically I'm already side-eyeing you.
Yeah.
Because I have endured so much. I have gone against the grain on purpose because I'm like, nah, I'm going to get over that. Oh, okay. There's a hump in the road now. Let's get a shovel and crack through it because you have to. If you really want to make it in life, in everything, and this is not just the industry. This is, for my girls that are in school, my fellas that are out there trying to be the best dad. Like, you have to push through everything, even the mental blocks you have. Because everyone's going to tell you no.
And I feel like the mental blocks is really where it gets people.
Oh, yeah.
I've met
Because
so
we live
many-
in our head.
Right. I've met
We
so
all
many
do.
cool people in this business that don't survive the business because
Right.
of the mental shit that goes on.
Oh, man, if I let my mental get to me, I would be a hermit in my house in my little Uggs, comfortable in the rancho.
garden.
In my garden, okay. Yeah, I think that mentally, I talk about mental health a lot because it's something that culturally we don't talk about. Oh, you want to see a therapist? Oh, está loca. Like, no.
Or you're telling your business.
Or you're telling your business, and it's important that we understand that we're all going through it. Everybody's going through it. It's just some people choose not to talk about it for whatever reason. And there's also people that are fighting these silent battles alone. I want to be the first to say that I'm not the first to say, but I want to be somebody that, like, I am your lean-in. If you're feeling down, just look at my story. Like, if I did it, you can too. You just have to, keep at it. You have to make a plan. You have to be realistic. And then you have to execute. And then you have to keep executing. Because there's no mark of, oh, I made it. Oh, because... So here comes God. Oh, you got plans? Oh,
Yeah.
so let me show you how your plans are completely not gonna happen.
Now, as the CEO of your own label, La Rosa Entertainment, how do
Yeah.
you see your label making music in the industry more inclusive for women? And do we see, maybe I'm just going to push it out there, maybe like a all-female tour or something? I'm just saying, Somaya.
Oh, you already know.
I feel like I'm manifesting this stuff.
Yes. You already know. You better be a part of it
Yes,
too.
I want
Okay.
to.
So I mean,
Do you plan on bringing other females onto your label?
Yes. So I would have to say that everyone except for my video director, Digital Avenue, who's a man, is women. Everyone that I'm working with are women. I'm looking over at my producer over there, I'm thinking, who else do we have that's not a woman? empowerment? It's mainly women. And I definitely want to do a lot of things with females. Of course, I like working with men too. But I feel that for me, us women, we understand each other. We understand our struggles. We understand that every day is not a good day, you know, the personal things that people, you know, we don't talk about publicly. And it is going to be very important to me. And the number one highlight that I'm going to do is just make it very female forward. Not in a toxic way, because I think when people think of like female empowerment, they start to think toxic because it does exist. I'm not a toxic feminist, but I am very much a female empowering woman.
Right.
And I will always root for my girls. It doesn't matter what you do. I don't care if you're an OnlyFans model. I don't care if you're a dentist, if you're a student, a mommy. Like, I love you all the same. You all need to take up space in this world because we are the universe as women.
No,
we are the universe. We create. And so that is very important to me. And yes, I absolutely want to do that.
I think that would be awesome, like an all-female tour.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, and just hit the city. But I think that it's because it'll be.
You know, my largest audience is mainly all women.
Yeah,
yeah,
but it
always.
would be a tour with a message, right?
Yes.
Like a tour with a message is awesome.
Yes, like I would love like a ladies' night part 2.
Yes,
You know, that would be great, and it will happen, and I am manifesting for it to happen. It just takes time.
Let me ask you, how do you prioritize your mental health while dealing with your career? Because some people say there's not a balance. You really can't find a balance. Some people say you can find a balance. Mm-hmm. But you have found like gardening. Mm-hmm. You're doing shout out to Somaya. She gave me some cool ass soaps. I'm excited about this.
Yes.
You got your tea. I mean, there's other avenues right now that you're working on, right?
So I feel that finding your self-love and your peace in your mental space is a individual thing. Okay. Because that's the reason why we get the mixed messages. Like, there is no balance. There is balance. Truthfully, here's what I have learned. And I will say through my personal. I live in my head because I'm a thinker. I'm a deep thinker. Like, when I tell you I think so deep, I will probably Google what size is Jesus' feet. Like, I'm so ridiculous with like the things that come across my brain that when you think that deep, you're constantly fighting this battle of this internal conflict, right? Did I say too much? Did I say enough? Is it coming out too strong? But as long as I know that I'm authentically living as me, there's no imposter syndrome.
Right.
This is who I am. I garden without my makeup, looking crazy as hell sometimes, but that's me, right? And that is what helps me with my mental health. But being outside, it's going to help anyone. Go outside. Let me tell you, going outside and breathing some fresh air, being in your garden, being with plants, they're living things too, right? You just feel this whole refresher, and you have to find your balance, and it's a daily thing. So I don't wake up every day and I'm like, oh, sunshines and rainbows. That's such a lie.
Okay.
You know, there is no such thing as that's called toxic positivity, and that is not real.
Right.
That is not real. But I will tell you this: every day. The other day, I was telling my producer, I was like, I'm so glad that I put this out. That's the first record because it's the soundtrack of who I am and how I also want people to stand in their business and don't be afraid. Go out and get yours. And I was like, yo, you think I came too strong? I don't feel that I did.
No, you're Somaya.
I didn't feel that I did, but I was like, but I'm also so aggressive, right?
Right.
And that's part of finding your mental health balance, right? And we laughed about it, but finding your mental health balance is going to be an individual play. It's going to be an individual thing, and you have to do what makes you happy and what makes you find your balance.
I mean, listen, I love
but
that you're
possible.
in the garden. I didn't expect it from you. I was like, Samaya's growing tomatoes? Get out of here.
Yes.
Like, she's on a jet somewhere. You
yes,
know what I mean? But
yes.
then again,
I need
love
that
it because
balance.
That's the human side of Somaya.
Yes,
you know?
I'm human first. I am human first. I am a friend. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a human first. I'm everybody's online bestie, okay? And it's truly just important for you to find your own personal balance. And it is possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. We have a once a week, so I go live often on my TikTok. But once a week we do a therapy session. This is what I call it. And we talk about our mental health. And I cue in a lot of fans, and everyone talks about what they're going through. And every week we check in with each other, and it's different people. And I think sometimes because we don't talk about our problems, it's hard for us not to live in our head, because had I not, let's say, discussed how I felt with like my producer, KT, I probably would have been thinking about it. And I would have been thinking about it. And then, boom, now I created this problem that doesn't exist. And that's a big thing for us as humans, because we, who, except for gentle parenting, parents tell their kids it's okay to talk about things, like we weren't raised that way.
I was raised that, you cry.
Yeah, like you cry. Shut up. Yeah. I'm gonna give you something to cry about. Me too. Me too. But I realized, no, that's not the way.
Somaya, you have been referred to as the female MC you need to know by XXL Magazine. The hottest Latina in the music by Maxim en Español. The female version of Pitbull. When
it's an honor.
And you hear these descriptions about yourself, how does it make you feel?
So I enjoy, it makes me feel great. It makes me feel that my hard work is heard and seen. Mm-hmm. Heard and seen. And I also find it very interesting what POV of Somaya is to everyone. Right. Because some people, and we all have a different point of view of someone, right? But when you hear those things, to me, I'm grateful. I literally got out the mud by myself.
Right.
Me and God. That's me, God, and a bus pass.
Right. No, you literally pulled yourself up by your bootstraps.
Yes.
Like, that's what it was.
So it is a honor. It is like
Does it shock you every time you see those
things?
Yeah?
To this day, I am so grateful. Because I truly believe that me leaning into prayer was the biggest thing that could have ever just really helped me in my life.
How was it opening up for Pitbull? Like, how was that? Oh my God.
Great. So I shout out to Yvette. Yvette actually was a huge factor. So she was Pitbull's manager at the time. Uh-huh. And what happened is that I was introduced to Pitt. So I flew to Miami and we got to sit here together, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm meeting Pitbull. This is crazy, right? Like, I just so exciting. But actually, like this, like we're sitting talking, and he's hearing the music, and I was like, I'm so nervous. And he was like, okay, I can see why they're saying what they're saying. He goes, you know what? You have something. He goes, you have something. He's like, I don't think I've ever really heard like a female saying this. He was so kind, so like,
down
you know,
he's
very down to earth, all about the message as well, because he's always giving advice, and that's exactly what he did. And I didn't know anything would come out of that at all. Then Yvette tells me, which is manager at the time, was like, so Pitbull has Calle Ocho. Have you heard of it? Of course. Right. I'm like, oh my God, yeah. So they picked me, and I was the only unsigned artist, DJ Chino, like all the people that were signed to him who got their own stage, the Mr. 305 stage. And I went on there and I performed Descontrol. And that was when I left Love and Hip Hop.
Right.
And it was such a great feeling, because leaving Love and Hip Hop, it was a very weird kind of transition, because I got a lot of love. I got a lot of, I wouldn't say hate. I would say confused admirers, and it validated that, like, no, I am doing the right thing. I just have to find my way.
Right.
And I was in the middle of finding my voice. So to be recognized by Mr. 305 and him and his whole team having me, it was just
it's
insane.
Almost, it was a validation in itself.
It was. And it was very important for Somaya at the time, and it's still going to be important now, because I am humble in the respect that I am so happy, whenever I hear like, oh, so-and-so is hitting you up. Like, I want to talk to you about doing a song for you. I'm like, what? Like, yes, that's amazing.
Do you miss Love and Hip Hop, Somaya? And would you do reality TV again?
So I did come back for season 10. They brought back the OGs. That was right when COVID hit.
I remember that.
Yes, that's right when COVID hit. And we were supposed to do a two-part Love and Hip Hop thing. And because of COVID, we only got to do one. I would say that I'm in a different place now. And what I realized about reality TV is that there's a lot of people that go on reality TV that are looking for clout.
Mm-hmm.
And they just want to fight, just to fight. Like, okay, call me crazy, but I'm a businesswoman. If I'm gonna go on a reality show to fight, yo, give me a contract on WWE.
Right.
At least I make a couple million.
Right.
Because that doesn't make any sense. And I also don't like fighting with women. That's the reason why I have always, when anyone's come at me, I've tried very hard to resolve the issue because I don't want to fight with women at all. So I can't say that I wouldn't because I realize you can't control your cast at all. Like, no matter what. You could go, like when I did a show with Pauly D, Famously Single, when I was single, somebody just started fighting with me out of nowhere and just invented their own story in their head. And I was like, you want camera time? Like, that's what you want? Like, I'm like, you know what?
And I just want to say this, Somaya has hands.
And I don't want to go there because it also takes a lot of, it takes a lot of spiritual emotion and like drainage to give all your energy to that. So I will definitely do it, but it has to make sense for everyone because, an example, if a reality show calls me and all they're doing is fist fighting on the whole show, no, but I'll come host it.
Okay, got you.
I'll come host it. I'll come host it. I'll do a performance on it. Maybe a cameo. But I would definitely do it again. It's just not. I take it day by day when I'm on set,
right?
Because it's a little difficult. You can't control.
Shout out to Angel Brinks for keeping you in them fire ass
outfits too. Yes, that's my girl. I love me some Angel Brinks.
Yes.
Me too.
Your top 3 female rappers.
I feel like I got some new news. Okay, so right now I'm really feeling Cash Doll.
Okay, all right.
Right now I'm really feeling Cash Doll. So I gotta stick with my OGs.
Yes.
And right now, Cash Doll, if you watching, girl, we a boss. We both bosses. Let's do this.
Is that your dream collab?
I actually really want to work with her. Yeah, okay. I really do. But I've got other collabs that I want to do as well. But I really enjoy because what I like about the female MCs, and there's other ones. Shout out to my homegirl, Miss Hustle. She is a really dope battle rapper. I just love women out there doing it. And I love how Lil' Kim paved that I'm going to be different. Mm-hmm. Missy Elliott said, yeah, I'm going to be different. Cash Doll, yeah, I'm a boss. That's what I'm talking about. So to me, I love the opposite. You told me to go here, I'm going over there because I got to see why you're telling me not to go over there.
Right.
That's who I am. I'm like a rebel by heart. Like, soy corazón rebelde. That's what I always call myself. But yeah, that's definitely who I would want to work with right now.
First of all, I think you have the most dope packaging.
Thank you.
This fits me bath. Okay, yes, I gotta shout you out because you gave me this. And
so you said you like coconut. Coconut.
Yeah, I do.
Smell it.
And you said it's good for my skin?
It's very good for your skin. It is incredible for your skin. The one, because I know you're a glam girl like me.
Yes.
The oatmeal soap that I provided in there is incredible for your face. It will keep your skin glowing. It is a youthful look, like for anybody that, like us, that has to go in the lights and camera.
Right.
Wash your face, and this will keep your skin looking like you a baby.
How do you do it all from this fits me bath to, your tea to now your music? I mean, going on set. You have to have like one hell of a team behind you. I'm just saying.
I will have to say that it's me and all my ancestors. Truthfully.
Okay, it happens. That's how I work too. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? I would have to say that This Fits Me, my company, is my baby. And the reason why I created it is because it goes with who I am as a person. I want to share with other people, to eat cleaner, to put healthier products on your skin. Your skin is the largest organ in your body. We could really get into some science facts behind that. And a lot of ingredients that are on the shelf currently with the biggest products that are most publicized have a lot of toxins in them. And us as people, we have to fight against that every day, with the air, people bringing us bad energy can
Right.
also be toxic to our body. So all of my products are easy to read ingredients. No preservatives in them. They're non-toxic. They're clean, and they are good for you. And they are good for you for the long run. They're not overnight products. Although my Slim Tea, you can lose a lot of weight like this on them. But if you are responsible, you can find a lot of self-love and self-care through it. It's also for the mental.
Now, March, okay, because I definitely want to use this clip for the month of March because you said in an interview I was watching, you said you want to inspire the uninspired.
Yes.
You want to inspire people who have been told no. Somebody watching this right now, I would just want to humanize you. How many times have you been told no in this industry?
50,000 probably. And I tell people all the time, for every 1,000 people that say no, 5 that say yes could change your whole life. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. And I have to tell myself that. I have to tell myself that when I'm living in my head.
Yeah.
But I even put a line in my song for every woman that was told no and couldn't get in.
Right.
Because you will be told no before you are told a yes. Even if you have all the talent in the world, if you have the whole resume, if you are visually what they want, you will be told no. But are you going to go home and cry about it, or are you going to push through? Push through. You owe it to yourself.
I love that. Yes.
God wants you to push through.
There's somebody watching right now that's like, they're listening
Yes.
to you and they need to push through, whether they're going through something, whether they're
Yes.
trying to start up their brand
Push
or their
through.
business. It's all about
Baby
women
steps.
empowerment. You know what I mean?
Baby steps.
But consistency, too, is the key.
Baby steps, consistency, and don't let anyone get in your head. And when they do, look back at your accomplishments and tell yourself, and mind you, I say this from experience because, again, I live in my head too. And I will tell you this, the people that show up and the ones that don't show up, the person that shows up might not have the talent, but they're going to get the job
Yeah.
because they showed up.
That part right there.
And then they'll learn along the way. That could have been you. That could have been you. Show up.
Don't give up.
Show up for yourself.
Right.
That's what it's about. Show up for yourself. Don't give up. And never give up, because when you give up on yourself, you also give up on anyone that might believe in you. And that might be your ancestors. That might be your abuela that passed. That might be your father, your mother, whoever. Your pet. You know what I mean? Like it's
You
all
owe it
love.
to them.
Yeah. So
What's
you owe it
next-
to yourself.
What's next for Somaya Reece?
Well, I would have to say that the number one thing that what's next for Somaya is a lot of music. This entire year, we will be dropping music. We're also expanding my company, This Fits Me, and my record label, La Rosa. And La Rosa was actually named because I am the rose that grew from the concrete. I love Tupac. Big fan. And I'm going to do a lot of speaking engagements. I really want to get out there and help other people. That's my biggest mission in life.
Right.
I want to help others. But truthfully, right now, we're focused on the music, acting. I did study theater at UCLA and went to acting school. So I want to get back to my roots. And I want to continue to tell my story in order to inspire and motivate other people. And I want to continue to create and push my art and push boundaries and show everyone, not for myself or from an egotistical point of view, but show everyone you can do it too.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And so I'm also working on a podcast too. Okay, so we're going to be doing that as well this year.
I love it.
So you are an exclusive to hear that.
Yes,
okay?
right here first.
And it will be a female podcast.
What?
Yes, and maybe we should talk about that.
We should,
Yes.
yeah.
It will be myself, Katie Kaboom, the producer, and we're definitely looking to bring on some other people on board. And it's a female-based podcast, and we're just going to be, because life be lifing, guys. life is life and for
I
everyone.
need a reality
you
show
know?
of Samaya in the tomato garden.
Can somebody give me a show on like, on the gardening, like, what it's like to like live a life like that, and then we off to the red carpet,
Right. She on stage rapping, and then she's growing tomatoes.
Yeah, and then I'm
Let's
going,
do it.
no, you have no idea how many times I posted videos like that. I'd be like, okay, guys, so I got this show, but I gotta do this first. And people are like, oh my God, you really do live this life. Yes, I do.
I love it.
I do.
I love it. No, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
I am going to be waiting for that all-female tour.
Yes.
I already know it's going to be happening here in
Yes.
LA. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And make sure you guys
Yes.
watch out for her podcast.
Yes.
But they can download all your music, right?
Yes, you can find my music. You can either go to my website, which is somayareece.com. I just created that so that it's like a landing platform for everything. Or you can find me on social media, Somaya Reece. Or you can go on all platforms, look for Somaya Reece, La Jefa. My new single is Witness Glory, and it's out now. It's only been out for 1 week. So we still out here on the grind performing and talking about it,
Before I let you go, you want to know how I found out about you? When I heard your name for the first time? I was working at Wild 96, my first radio station. And the way I found out about Somaya was all the radio guys had pictures of her in their cubicles. And I said, who's this? And the favorite one I saw a lot of, and I don't want to put all you guys on blast. Some of y'all married now. But was the one where you were sitting on a suite?
I already know.
Do you know which one? Yes,
It is
and I
the
seen
number
it in different
one.
cubicles. And I'm like, who is this pretty girl? And they're like, Somaya. And then one day you came to the station, and I ain't never seen all the guys that work in one day, but they all showed up for that.
Yes, and I remember that.
Yes.
I
Oh,
was
like,
definitely on
Somaya,
everyone's top
Somaya,
8.
Somaya, yeah.
I was definitely on everybody's top 8. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Yes.
And what's interesting is that picture you're talking about is still my number 1 most requested autograph photo.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. Wild.
It's so visual.
And the one with the pigtails.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I remember the one in the swing, and I just remember different cubicles.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is so funny because
I love
I still get requests for it. Just got one a couple days ago, actually.
Oh, man. Well, listen, your podcast.
Shout out to all the fellas.
I need to show up to your podcast.
Yes, please.
Let's do it. Come on, you guys.
Please,
Somaya Reece.
absolutely.